We live in times of speed, fast thoughts, fast food, fast emotions, and fast breath. But do you know what does these all signify? Fast thought equals to fast breath, and fast breath equals to abrupt mental diarrhea or overthinking. In today's generation, the average lifespan of a human being is 70 to 75 or 80 years. One of the most equipped generation, but also one of the most failed generation when it comes in terms of consciousness. An elephant have lifespan of 65 years. Tortoise can live up to 80 to 150 years, some even up to 250 years. And human life has declined from 100 years on an average to 70 to 75 years. Do you know the actual reason behind all this? What I mean to say by all these is the speed of your breath decides how are you going to live your life and what are you going to achieve in your life and what will be your lifespan. And this is not some prediction that is being given by me. These all are written purely in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. To know how, let's watch the complete video. These three Indian yogis are not just extraordinary faces, but have proved that breath work can easily change the way you look to yoga or sadhana. Trilanga Swami, 19th century yogi, lived in Varanasi and known for miraculous yogic feats, extreme longevity, who lived well over 160 to 200 years. His breath was so subtle that it appeared as complete stillness and was known to say very little but used breath and silence as tools of transmission. He was known as Walking Shiva of Varanasi. Swami Rama, 20th century yogi, known for scientific validation of slow breathing, pranayama and meditative states to influence involuntary bodily functions. In 1917, an American lab hooked to wires and electrodes, this Himalayan monk voluntarily stopped his heart for 17 seconds without any harm and changed the brainwave activity from beta to alpha and to theta all by his will. Increased temperature in one hand by 5 degrees Celsius, whereas decreased the temperature on the other, and demonstrated extended breath holding with calmed brain waves under observation at Menninger Foundation, USA. He says breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. If you learn to regulate the breath, you can regulate your mental state. When the breath becomes tranquil, the mind becomes serene, and in that silence, the self is revealed. Sri Ramana Maharshi, well known by all of us. He says breath and mind arise from the same source. If you control one, the other is automatically controlled. But we as a common people, we will think that okay, these all are yogi, they can do that, but we cannot do that. So one question arises that how the breath is so profound. I mean, even now when you are listening to this video, we all are breathing this moment, but very few of us are actually aware of it. Sadhguru has revealed this many times, but we overlooked it. Dirgha Sukshma means long and subtle. These are two keywords that Patanjali uses in Yoga Sutras while discussing about pranayama, which is fourth limb out of the 8 limbs of yoga, which means mastering the prana or the life energies. Pranayama is not directly related to breath work because breathing is physical, and through breath we can take charge of our pranic energies or panch vayus. And once one gain mastery over their life energies or the panch vayus, they are free from most of their ailments, especially psychological ones. Animals like tortoise have lifespan up to 80 to 150 years, some 250 years, elephant of 65 years, and human 70 to 80 years on an average. The actual reason behind all this is the breath per minute. Where tortoise takes 4 to 5 breaths per minute, elephant breathes 10 to 12 times per minute, and we humans breathe 12 to 15 times per minute, in which it is found that even 20% of lung capacity is unused. This means that number of breath equals to lifespan, and the way you breathe equals to the way your mind functions, and thus the result you get. So primarily, one goal of yoga is to decrease the number of breath by sadhana or asana practice. And there are several slow breathing techniques that one can perform whether they are initiated or not initiated. But yes, despite being several breathing techniques, the first thing that comes in our mind is not how to do that technique. The first thing that comes is to what will happen if I do this? Will my problem get resolved? Because we are not yogi, we want ourselves to get resolved. And so there's a proper scientific research in the slow breathing techniques, where in one experiment it was found that the amygdala centers, which is responsible for stress, anxiety, basically flight and fight response, these amygdala centers, their activity is greatly reduced. And on the other hand, the hippocampus, whose main purpose is to organize and store experiences into knowledge and memory, its function is highly enhanced, thereby increasing memory ability, clarity, and learning under calm. Apart from all this, the experiments have also shown that the heart rate variability, which means variation in time between each heartbeat, increases, thereby indicating that the body can shift smoothly from stress to relaxation, making your heart more responsive and efficient. And above all, the most beautiful thing is the level of calmness of your brain is highly enhanced while the brain is still active. But remember, these all scientific research will only tell about the physical aspects of slow breathing. But apart from this, the technique of slow breathing has a much deeper impact on our energy body. So the level of which it impacts you is even much more than what the scientific research can even tell you. So now coming to end, since 21st June is International Yoga Day, give yourself challenge to practice slow and conscious breathing. If you're initiated, Shubha Kriya works best. But if you are not, Nadi Shuddhi is one of the most powerful breathing technique which not only works on the level of your brain or body, but apart from all these, the main function it does is cleanses the nadis, that is Ida and Pingala, thereby balancing your very system. It's absolutely free and link I've provided in description. And remember, the essential problem of human being is lack of attention. So for this, many of us might have heard Bhaja Govindam chant by Sri Guru Adi Shankaracharya that says Nishchal Tattvam Jivan Mukti. Means if there is unwavering attention towards something, no matter what the thing is, then liberation, the possibility of freedom cannot be denied to you. So with keenness and intensity of attention, we can open just about any door in this universe. It all depends on how keen and intense our attention is and how much energy there is behind our attention. In this context, breath is a beautiful device because it is constantly on as long as we are alive. The breath is there all the time. We just have to be conscious of it. And with this, hope you all loved the video and found it meaningful. If yes, do not forget to share this with your friends and families because we all want to start the yoga challenge. If you want to share your experiences, do not forget to share it in my email ID, which I have given in description, because we want all of you to take this challenge and start this journey with at least 5 minutes a day. And if you are willing, do not forget to give this video a like and subscribe. And with this, up to next, stay safe, healthy, happy, and namaskaram.